Alright, first off, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Hashem Rakah Kodash. Also want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And shalom to the brothers in the highways and byways, pushing this word in all sincerity and truth. Right, the sisters, the believers, the helps. This is the brother Ira one from the James Jamaica camp. And just want to do a short lesson upon this quote right here. Right, hopefully this is edifying to the body. Right, the house of David, the hopeful elect. And it's basically about repetition, right? It says it takes 100 times to remember the moves, 1,000 times to make them beautiful, and 10,000 times to grasp their essence, right? And it reminds us so much of the truth, right, as it pertains to certain experience or certain situations that brothers go through, as it pertains to breaking down precepts, as it comes to gaining that experience, and it also helped for open the eyes, or open my eyes, as it pertains to even the elders. And this is why we give them double honors, because most of the things we us young men coming up in the truth, mainly myself, right, been in the truth for a little while, right, I can safely say that what I'm going through now, the elders have reached, or the apostles have reached a point where they have done the moves 1,000 times. Hence, them grasping the essence of the whole scriptures and of the road to salvation. Hence, why they're better fit to teach us. Right, that's why when them come out with certain decrees, like El Apostle Tower bring out decree 3 videos a week. Hey, there's an essence to that, yo. When them say, we're not niggers, right? When them say, brothers should be getting a job, at times them say some things, or certain decree bring forth, and like some of them you can readily pull a scripture and say, a scripture said this, while some of it, not everything that or every judgment that is passed, you're gonna find like an exact precept for it. But through the spirit, you know well that, hey, that is the right decision. And the reason why you might now see a precept for it because overall you want precept are linked to it, but not directly, right? But there's an essence to it, right? So once we just read the quote, it says it takes 100 times to remember the moves, 1,000 times to make them beautiful, and 10,000 times to grasp their essence, right? And I'll bring my first precept, right? The one you never in the lot, but I'm gonna just bring it out anyway. From Isaiah. Just a second, Akim. So this is Isaiah 28 verse 9. It says, whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast, right? And that is true, right? And even in reference as to a baby, you have to practice repeat the basics 100 times. Basically, as a baby, the first step is what? Memorizing. Like what the quote say, the first 100 times is actually just memorizing the moves, right? Even when them learn for walk, them just memorize how to stand up, so till them actually get the essence of standing up the 1,000 times, right? And these aren't actual figures, but just basically giving an example, right, to show that it takes much repetition. It says, for precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little, right? Hey, sometimes you hear a precept read like a year ago, and then you hear it today, and it's like it's a whole different ball game. Like you get more and more each time, because so the essence become more pure, right? So gonna read my next precept. So okay, this is St. John 15 verse 1. It says, I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away, and every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Abide in me, and I in you. Because how is it that you're going keep on repeat something? You have to keep it. You have to get this. You have to be in the environment where that thing is, right? So you have to constantly, if you want to get the essence of these scriptures, right? You have to read them, right? And then you have the next side of it, which is actually to undergo them, or to in other words, act them out, right? To start experience with them. So that's why yeah, we have brothers where them know a whole bunch of scriptures, but them they really act upon them to a certain degree. Them read more than them on how them applied, which in the truth it shouldn't be so, right? So it's supposed to be both the theory and the practical. Lord willing, we do a lesson upon a follow-up lesson upon this topic. So you have the theory and you have the practical, right? So it's not supposed to be one-sided, right? Just as how you continue reading the scriptures and because hey, when we come in here with Mockingbirds, we memorize the breakdowns, right? And even the way we carry ourselves, right? For example, the Sabbath service, not the Sabbath service, the Passover, which is basically the same thing. When I was just coming in the truth, hey, we understand the Passover to a certain extent as it pertains to young man and knowing that it was serious, but over time we kept on doing it over and over again. So it coming the first my first Passover was more of memorizing the steps of the Passover, right? Yes, there was understanding to it, but as the years go by and we keep on doing the Passover, it's like more and more things come out, and you get you get the essence more and more as you go through, right? Verse 4 again, it says, "Abide in me and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself except it abide in the vine, no more can ye except ye abide in me." And that is true, yo. So if you want to get to the point where you get this essence, if you want to bear the fruits of righteousness, then you have to consistently repeat, right? As we said, not only reading the scriptures, but undergoing it. That's why the Most I always give with tests in our daily life, yo, where him test with certain things. Whether I want to be hey, every day, from you go to work to how you deal with a woman, to how you deal with brothers, to how you carry yourself, how you groom yourself, right? How you eat. Every aspect of your life, there's a practical aspect of the scriptures therein, right? Gonna go into also a word, right? Now the first word that I actually looked up, I look up the word repetition, right? And this is from the Merriam-Webster dictionary. And it says the act of saying or doing something again. The act of repeating something, right? Doing something that is done or said again. And then this word right here, for the synonyms, right? Duplication, iteration or iteration, right? And when you look up this word iteration, it goes in a very interesting meaning. It says the act or a process of iterating or repeating, such as a procedure in which repetition of a sequence of operations yields results successively closer to a desired result. So if you want to be more fit, what you have to do, you have to keep on exercising. If you want grow in righteousness, then you have to repeat righteous acts, right? So how do you repeat righteous acts? You read the scriptures and try to apply them to the best of your ability. That's why you have to live the scripture. You can't be a weekend Israelite, or you can't be a one day Israelite, right? It have to be you have to go through as a lifestyle, right? It says the repetition of a sequence or computer instruction. It says one execution of a sequence of operations or instructions in an iteration. So basically, you keep on doing something to reach to a desired result, right? Now, also it went into a part. I also looked up a particular word. Oh, there no time for that yet. Right, so just gonna go back into the precepts, right? This is Joshua. No, Hebrews 2 verse 1. It says, "Therefore we ought to give more earnest heed to the things which we have heard, lest at any time we should let them slip. For if the word spoken by angels was steadfast, and every transgression and disobedience received a just recompense of reward." right? The point is verse 1. It says, therefore we ought to give the most earnest heed to the things which we have heard, lest at any time we should let them slip, right? So just go and look up this word slip, because when you don't repeat certain things, you basically lose what you call form, right? For brothers who work out, or whenever you in the sports, I hear like them say, "Oh, an athlete is on form," or them say one artist up on form. It means that them have a pace where them will go with, and basically them in them zone. It help them to perform because what them consistent, right? But the moment them stop training and the moment them break from the routine, what happens is them basically get sloppy, right? And then basically have to retrain themselves or get in it. So what happens is you have to basically keep on repeating it, as we're going to break down earlier at the Kingston camp, right? Couple of weeks ago, about building the environment that will yield results, right? Careful what you feed your mind, right? It says one least salvation, which these things heard show us how to obtain, slip away from us, right? Slips my mind, a thing escapes me, right? So overall, if you don't repeat these things, then what happens? The things start slip you. Now, this says in a thing escapes me, right? And it goes down. It says tropically slips from my mind, and it says Plato leg and gives a reference. It says in the essence of neglect. So when you stop repeat these things, you basically start neglect them, and then basically leave from you, right? Go bring out an next precept, and this is from the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter. Just a second, Akim. Was talking about wisdom. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 8, starting at verse 7. It says, if a man love righteousness, let her labors are virtuous, for she teacheth temperance and prudence, justice and fortitude. So you have a constantly abiding in wisdom, and a repeat wise acts, so to speak, which is basically following these scriptures to the best of your ability, so that you can obtain wisdom. And you teach it what? Temperance, prudence, justice, and fortitude, right? Basically it's a defense, which are such things as men can have nothing more profitable in their life. Verse 8, if a man desire much experience, she knoweth things of old, and concurreth aright what is to come. She knoweth the subtleties of speech, and can expound dark sentences. She foreseeth signs and wonders, and the events of seasons and times. Yeah, so basically, that our wisdom here, yo. So, and what the best way for have the repetition? It says what? She knoweth the things of old. What give us the knowledge of the things of old? These scriptures, right? So this is as we say, repetition is the best key, right? Or one of the main aspects of this truth to be abiding in this word, right? Also, gonna find another precept, Salakia. And this is where this is experience in Ecclesiasticus 34, starting at verse 9. It says, a man that travelleth knoweth many things, and he that had much experience will declare wisdom. And you notice what it says, a man that had travelled knoweth many things, meaning say that's why you have some people where them travel a lot and them can tell you all different types of knowledge. But if you just go one time and just don't travel again, them wouldn't know half what they do, them know, because them what them repeat traveling, right? Hence them get a lot of things. It says, he that had no experience to it little, but he that traveled is full of prudence, right? When I traveled, I saw many things and understand more than I can express. I was oft times in danger of death and was delivered because of these things. And notice the words that are used here, yo. Many. Man who traveled many. It says, I traveled and saw many things and understood more than I can express. And the word here in the verse 12, it says, I was oft times in danger. I mean, what the word oft, basically the word often, right? Yet I was delivered because of these things. Silakia Akyom. Right? So it also says the spirit of those that fear the Lord shall live, for their hope is in him that saveth them. So we'll look up this word often, right? Never plan it, but hey, there's a rule of the spirit. Don't want to make this thing too long, right? So the word often means many times, frequent. Hey, also one of the things that we basically are going about also a couple of weeks is frequency, which means basically how often something happen, or how frequent something happen, right? Now just gonna bring out a couple more precepts and read the quote one more time, right? This is Joshua. Salakia. Book of Joshua, chapter 1 verse 8. It says, this book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou may observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then shall thou make thy way prosperous, and then shall thou have good success. Right? So there you have it, yo. What you meditate day and night, meaning what? Continually, often, right? And just before I go read out the word experience from the Merriam-Webster dictionary. Right? And one of the things that I found very intriguing as well, right? Down here, right, it says experience. I have learned by experience. And it says the process of doing and seeing things that you have, the process of doing and seeing things, just like reading and actually applying and having things happen to you, right? Or often something happens to you, or often you engage in something, right? It says a practical knowledge, skill, or practice derived from direct observation or participation in events or in a particular activity, right? So there you have it. So it's also a practical. Wisdom is a practical thing, right? Something personally encountered, undergo, or lived through. The act or process of directly perceiving events or reality. So as I say, you're reading a lot will also give you experience in reading and understanding, but you also have to outside of the act of reading, you have to the act of applying which is read, right? And as you scroll down here, it says one of the synonyms is to suffer, right? Or undergo, which means basically to do something, right? So with that, just read the quote once more. Hope this is edifying. It says, it takes 100 times to remember the moves, 1,000 times to make them beautiful, and 10,000 times to grasp their essence. So with that, I hope your brothers are edified. Once more, once all praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Hashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders.